Legit or not, let's get that neon back up there for this next one. How about repeating in the NFL is the hardest thing to do in all of sports because neither the Broncos nor the Panthers are even going to be able to participate in the postseason this year. It's the first time in 13 years that both defending conference champions failed to reach the postseason since the Buccaneers and Raiders after they went to the Super Bowl in the early 2000s. So the last team to repeat, by the way, is Super Bowl champions. It's been since 2003 and 4. The Patriots did it. That's how long ago it's been. So is this legit or not? That repeating in the NFL is the hardest thing to do in all of sport.
All of sport is tricky. Just for the purpose of time here, let's limit this to North American major sports. Because if we're talking about Olympics or we're talking about other things.
We'll go out to the 4 major, predominantly American sports.
I still don't think it is. I still think it's baseball. It's just a numbers game for me. There's more baseball teams than there are football teams. There's less playoff spots. You're talking about 5 spots in each league, and you play 162 games. It's a grind. I know that there's teams that have done it, and I know that, but there's way more instances of teams that make the World Series that don't go back to the playoffs the next year in baseball. I mean, you think it happens all the time.
Yeah, and the last time a Major League Baseball team repeated, you should know. Yankees in 98 to 2003 in a row. So the Patriots have done it since the Yankees.
Then.
Yeah. So
there's not these like clear-cut, full-fledged dynasties that we see in some other sports. In really either baseball or football, you could certainly obviously point to the Patriots. That's one without a doubt. There's argument. Are the Giants one in baseball? Were the Red Sox one, even though it was a little here, a little there? I think it's an interesting argument, but I think when you have 5 teams per league, and that's only recent now. It used to be 4 teams per league. You get the 5 teams per league. And then how cruel is it if you're one of those last 2 and you're a wild card spot, you play 1 game? What if your ace pitcher who gets you into that wild card game pitched on Sunday, now you got a wild card game on Tuesday, you don't have your best pitcher, and the whole season comes down to 9 innings without your best pitcher? That type of scenario does not play itself out in football.
Is that part of the charm of both the National Football League and Major League Baseball? Because I think in the NBA, we look at it and go, it's going to be Golden State and Cleveland for the 3rd year in a row. Nobody cares. But in the NFL and Major League Baseball, we don't know who it's going to be. So that's why we're so excited come spring training and opening day and the first week of the NFL season, because we feel like whatever our team is that didn't make it the year before, we have that chance to do it next year.
12 teams getting the party in the NFL. I'm a Raider fan. I have not been to the party in 14 years.
Wow.
And I just got news yesterday because of Derek Carr that the party's pretty much essentially over, even though we're in the party. In baseball, it's 10. When you're looking at a third of your league getting in instead of more than half, which is the way it works out in the NBA and the NHL, when you're getting 8 per side, 16 total teams, that's more than half the league. It dilutes the competitive level of those series once we get in. Now, we hear all the time, it's the toughest to repeat in hockey. It's the toughest to do this and this. They're all tough. But just from a sheer mathematical numbers standpoint, if I'm looking at only 10 teams getting in from baseball over the course of 162, and 2 of those 5 per league have to play a wild card game, that's a lot tougher. Not a lot, but it's tougher to me.